A 4-1 loss to Germany in the round of 16 of World Cup 2010, followed by a 4-2 loss on penalties in the quarter-finals of Euro 2012 to Italy, finishing bottom of a group with 0 wins in World Cup 2014. And worst of all, losing 2-1 to Iceland in the round of 16 of Euro 2016. England were a shambles. England could not compete for any trophy, any silverware. England were just the country that would continue to embarrass themselves in the main stage. And things did not look to be getting any better coming into the 2018 World Cup with Gareth Southgate as our manager. A man that knows all too well how to bottle a major tournament after his penalty miss in Euro 96. But England would come into the tournament with not the most talented squad, not the most technically gifted squad, but efficient players such as Delph, Eric Dyer and Jordan Henderson, Ashley Young in the ranks. And well, the tournament would get off as many people would expected. A tight 2-1 win with a late winner against Tunisia. And then a convincing win against Panama. And then brought back down to earth with a 1-0 loss against Belgium. But England would make it to the round of 16, where they would find themselves in familiar territory, being taken to a penalty shootout. And who were the first team to miss in the penalty shootout? Obviously it was England. Jordan Henderson missed his penalty. But with Colombia hitting the crossbar with one of their penalties, Kieran Trippier was able to draw England level. Up step Jordan Pickford, who makes a huge save to put Eric Dyer on the verge of taking England to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, but more importantly, winning a penalty shootout at a major competition with England. And he did just that. The country believed, every English person believed going into that quarterfinal against Sweden. And when Dele Alli and co made light work of the Swedish, my apologies, the country well and truly did believe that the team could make the final. And all of that was made even more possible when Kieran Trippier scored an early free kick against Croatia to make it 1-0 in the semi-finals. For the first time in my lifetime, for the first time in years, England fans believed in their team. They were behind the boys. There was no negative attitude. Everyone believed that they could go all the way. But unfortunately, the Croats would make a comeback, win 2-1, go to the World Cup final, and inevitably lose 4-2 to a French super team in the final. But England came home, and everyone was proud of the team. For once, everybody was proud of England's performance at a major tournament. Despite not winning the competition, everyone was proud. There was a positive energy around the team. And well, a few years later, at Euro 2020, Southgate had the experience of taking the team to a World Cup semi-final, and he now had more technical, better players. He had Jadon Sancho, Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Calvin Phillips was there. You had Declan Rice, Mason Mount, Jude Bellingham. You had all of these players at your disposal. He did not need to play this negative and defensive football anymore because he had players that could take the game to the opposition. And that's what they did. They won 1-0 against Croatia in a comfortable game in the group stage, getting revenge for that semi-final exit. Then there was a poor performance against Scotland where they would draw 0-0. And they looked like Southgate was back with the boring football. The part of the bus. It was back. And then with Sterling getting a winner against the Czech Republic, it put them to the round of 16, where they had to play an all too familiar rival in Germany. They had to play Germany in the round of 16. A team that has caused so much heartache for England at major tournaments, with Thomas Muller up top. But Sterling and Kane put the ball in the back of the net. Muller puts a shot wide, And England make the quarterfinals of the Euros, beating Germany. One of the biggest achievements that I've seen England do in a long, long time. And it put them to the quarterfinals, where they'd make light work of Ukraine, taking them to the semi-finals, back-to-back semi-finals of a major tournament. England were back. Like, they were well and truly back. And after going 1-0 down after a Damsgaard free kick against Denmark, Sterling and Kane pulled England back 2-1. The reverse of what happened to them in Russia. They fought back, being 1-0 down in the semi-final, to take England to the final of a major tournament. For the first time in my lifetime, for what I can remember, I've seen England play in the final of a major tournament against Italy. And Luke Shaw scored within the first 5 minutes. And it was coming home. It was coming home. Football was coming home. But that would be England's only shot on target in the game. And Bonucci would equalise, taking the game to extra time. Neither team could score in extra time, and it went to penalties. Italy would miss first. Maguire would put England in the lead after Kane and Maguire fire home the first 2 penalties. Up stepped Marcus Rashford to extend the lead, and he misses. Italy go level. Sancho now to give us the lead again. Misses. Pickford pulls off a brilliant save against penalty specialist Jorginho. And England were still in it. England was still alive. Up step Bukayo Saka. 19-year-old Bukayo Saka to be the hero. He misses. All 3 penalties missed in a row. England had lost. England were runners-up in the Euros. And a cloud of depression and despair just came and covered the country. Everyone was disappointed. And maybe, just maybe, Southgate was not the man to win England a major tournament. Just maybe. Because you can't play for a 1-0 win and park the bus after 5 minutes, taking the lead in the first 5 minutes at the final of a major tournament against a very well-oiled Italy team with a Premier League winning manager as their manager. Like, you can't do that. But, you know, a few years on, we find ourselves at the Qatar World Cup. Saka had matured from that penalty miss and become one of Arsenal's best players. Grealish, Foden, all in playing for a Premier League, all Premier League winners playing for a Premier League winning Man City side. You've got Sterling, you've got Rashford again. You know, you've got Bellingham, who's really become one of the world's best midfielders for Dortmund. Declan Rice again. You've got all of these fantastic players, and it's the same problem again. It's the same problem again. As soon as they come up against a half-decent side in France, they lose. Harry Kane misses a penalty that could have made the game 2-2, and they lose 2-1. And it was a pathetic showing, wasn't it? It was a pathetic showing. And then that's when it was now known that Southgate couldn't waste the opportunity that England had with these young players. He was too stubborn to change his tactics. He was too stubborn to try and go for a win and not just hope for 1-0 win after 1-0 win after 1-0 win. England had to go for the kill in these games if they were to win a tournament. But Southgate doesn't get the sack. He gets this Euros that we're in right now. 1-0 win against Serbia, like I said. They go 1-0 up, and then they just invite pressure onto them. And we were very lucky not to draw that game or even lose. Go 1-0 up against Denmark. Invite so much pressure onto us. End up conceding. Draw 1-1 because there was literally no chance of us getting a second goal because we don't know how to score a second goal. And that leaves us with the last game of the group tomorrow. And it will probably be a 1-0 win, which will take us to the knockouts, where we'll have to play some serious teams if we're going to get to the final or win the tournament. And we should be winning the tournament or getting to the final of the tournament with players like Bundesliga top goal scorer Harry Kane, La Liga player of the season, Champions League winner Jude Bellingham, treble winner last season and Premier League Player of the Season, Phil Foden. You've got all these great players. Declan Rice, captain of a West Ham team that won a European trophy. You've got all of these players. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's won everything. Foden won everything. John Stones won everything. All of these players, serial winners. They know how to win. All they need is a manager that knows how to win. A manager that can lay it all out in front of them and tell them exactly what they need to do and have them play to their strengths. England could score goals for fun if the attack was set up correctly in a manner which would be to go for the kill, and that's unfortunately some of us will be blinded by the fact that Southgate took us to a semi-final and a final of a tournament, and that's fine. He did those things, but he's not the man to do that anymore. He was the perfect man for World Cup 2018. I'll give you that. And he was probably the right man for the Euros until it got to the final. He wasn't the right man to manage the final, but he was the right man to get us to the final. So it's harsh to judge him on that. But he was not the right man for the World Cup in Qatar, and he's not the right man for this Euros now. And you need someone that's going to play attacking football with the exciting talent that we've got now. The football Southgate wants to play worked very well with that team in Russia because we didn't have the best creative players going forward. Yes, we had Sterling. Yes, we had Rashford. But look at our midfielders. We didn't have any creative midfielders. Now we've got two of the best 10s in the world. Like, one of the best right wingers in the world. One of the best strikers in the world. Like, we should be scoring goals for fun. So why aren't we? Why are we struggling against teams like Serbia, who literally don't even play football? They just want to be able to outmuscle you, and their game is to just be stronger than their opposition and overpower them, not play football. Why are we struggling with such technical players in these games? We shouldn't be. And it's exactly why I don't think Southgate can continue as the England manager. And, you know, I don't know who should be the next England manager, but it's the problem, isn't it? It's the problem. He's too stubborn. He's too stubborn. Why is he still playing two non-natural left-sided players on the left when it's been proven that it doesn't work? If you're going to play Trippier and Foden on the left, the only reasonable outcome of that is the ball's going to be forced down the right, where you've got Walker, natural right-sided player, and Saka, natural right-sided player. If you want your wingers to hug the touchline, yes, you put Saka on the right wing because that's Saka's bread and butter, staying wide, taking the game at the team. But if you want your left winger to do that, you don't put a Foden who likes to come inside, have the ball to feet, and have the ball and make stuff happen. You would play Grealish. You would play Rashford. You know, he doesn't. He puts people in the team based on them being good at football, not them being good in the system that he plays, and that's why there's failure. That and the fact that his reluctance to go forward is the reason why England won't win a tournament under him. And, you know, I hope I'm wrong. I hope England win the Euros, but I don't think they will. But, you know, you can only hope, I guess. You know, I don't know who should be England's next manager after Southgate. You guys can let me know down in the comments who you think the best option is. But Southgate can't continue. This has to be Southgate's last tournament because these players are only getting older. You know, these players like Foden, Saka, Bellingham, they're not going to be young forever. And why waste this talent with someone that clearly doesn't know, that clearly can't manage? Look at Belgium. They wasted their golden generation with Roberto Martinez, who just couldn't get the best out of some of the best players in the world at the time. They wasted their golden generation with a poor manager, and England can't do the same. So Southgate needs to be sacked at some point, and it has to be after this tournament. You know, but you know, with all that being said, let me know your thoughts down below on Southgate, on England. If you think he's done a good job, if you think he's done a bad job, you know, go into a bit more detail why you think he's been good and why you think he's been bad. Like the video if you enjoyed. Obviously, comment down below your thoughts on who you think is going to win the Euros, and who you think is going to get the Golden Boot. You know, just anything like that. Obviously, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Getting close to 400 subscribers. If you're new around here, check out the rest of the videos on the channel. And with all that being said, I've been Nathan. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Shut down cases. They belly dots to the can't see faces. Chasing the bad guy chase it. You don't wanna be the one like Ace and like GTA trying to turn them out wasted. Aye, tell a bad bitch come break it. Body come mad, come shake it. Shit then, get back to the basics. Bro, done shut down cases. They belly dots to the